Only 5% of seniors over 80 can still do these 5 simple things. But here's the truth. If you can still do just 3 of them, your chances of living longer, staying independent, and avoiding nursing care increase dramatically. These aren't fancy workouts or expensive routines, just clear signs your body is still fighting for you. Want to know where you stand? Let's find out together. And if you care about living strong and free in your 80s and beyond, tap the subscribe button on your screen. It helps more people hear this message. Welcome to Better Life After Golden Jubilee. Today, we're diving into 5 simple physical abilities that researchers say can actually predict how well you'll age. These aren't complicated gym routines or miracle cures, just everyday movements that quietly signal strength, independence, and longevity. Most people lose them without even realizing it. But the good news? You can improve every single one, starting right now. Whether you're 60, 70, or already in your 80s, it's never too late to take back your vitality. Stick with me, because this could be the wake-up call your body's been waiting for. Let's dive into the 5 key abilities that only 5% of seniors over 80 can still do. These aren't about running marathons. They're simple movements that reflect deep physical health and resilience. Do a mental check as we go. How many of these can you still do? White heavy checkmark number 1, grip strength. It may sound like a minor detail, but your grip strength could quietly be predicting how well you age. In fact, it's one of the strongest indicators of overall health in seniors. Why? Because grip strength reflects more than just hand power. It's a snapshot of your muscle quality, nervous system function, and even heart health. Researchers have found that people with strong grip strength are more likely to live longer, avoid disability, and maintain their independence far into their 80s and 90s. Here's a simple way to check yours right now. Make a tight fist and squeeze it hard, then count to 10. Did your hand stay strong? Did it shake or fatigue? If you have a tennis ball nearby, try squeezing that too. If you notice weakness, trembling, or it feels hard to maintain, that's a sign your grip may be slipping, and it's time to take action. Let me tell you about Josephine, age 81. Just last year, she couldn't even open a bottle of water on her own. She said, "It made me feel useless." But instead of giving up, she started squeezing a towel tightly for 30 seconds, a few times a day. Within weeks, she was holding her shopping bags again and feeling proud of it. She didn't go to a gym or lift weights. She just stayed consistent. If you're noticing that jars are harder to open or you're avoiding carrying bags, don't ignore it. Start with what you have: a soft ball, a rolled up sock, or even your own fists. Strength starts small, but it builds quickly when you show up daily. And here's the thing, if your hands are weak today, how will you hold a walker or grip a stair railing next year? The time to build that strength is now, not when you're already struggling. So I want to ask you, can you still squeeze tight and hold for 10 seconds with full control? Or has your grip started to fade without you noticing? Tell me in the comments, where do you stand today, and what's one small action you'll take this week to improve it? Your answer could motivate someone else to start their own journey. White heavy checkmark number 2, getting up from a chair without using hands. This one seems simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful predictors of how well you'll move, walk, and stay safe as you age. It's called the sit-to-stand test, and it tells you a lot about your leg power, balance, and core control. Here's how to test yourself right now. Sit in a firm, sturdy chair. Cross your arms over your chest. Now stand up without using your hands. Sit back down. Repeat this 5 times. Could you do it smoothly, or did you need momentum or assistance? Did you feel wobbly, tired, or a little unsure? The ability to rise from a chair without help might seem basic, but losing it is often the first sign that independence is slipping. Why? Because every time you get off the couch, climb stairs, or even get out of bed, you're relying on that same leg's strength and balance. And when that weakens, the risk of falls skyrockets. And we all know, falls are the #1 cause of injury among seniors. But here's the good news. This is one skill you can build back, and often faster than you think. Let me introduce you to Joseph, 84. A year ago, he had to push off the arms of his chair every time, He stood up. He said, "It made me feel like I was giving up control of my own body." But instead of accepting that decline, he made a small change. He began practicing 5 chair stands a day, just once in the morning. Within 3 weeks, he was doing it without effort. Today, he walks 2 miles every morning without pain, without fear. All because he decided not to let gravity win. You don't need a gym or fancy routines. Just start where you are. Sit in your chair and try to rise without using your hands. Once, then twice. Use the edge of the table for support if you must, but aim to reduce that help over time. That's how strength returns. Think of every sit to stand as a quiet investment in your future freedom, because if you can stand up on your own, you're far less likely to need someone else to do it for you. Now let me ask you this. When was the last time you stood up from a chair without using your hands? Could you do it 5 times without losing balance or needing help? Drop your answer in the comments, be honest. And more importantly, share what small action you'll take this week to get stronger. Your story may be the spark someone else needs to reclaim their strength. White heavy checkmark number 3. Balance on one leg for 10 seconds. Let's talk about something most people ignore until it's too late. Balance. It may seem like a small thing, but your ability to stay steady on one foot is more than a matter of coordination. In seniors, it's been linked to everything from fall risk to brain health. In fact, difficulty balancing may be one of the earliest signs of cognitive decline. Here's your test. Stand up near a sturdy surface like a counter or chair. Now, lift one foot off the floor and time yourself. Can you hold it for 10 seconds without grabbing onto anything? Try both legs. If you couldn't stay up for the full 10 seconds, or if you felt nervous trying, it's okay. Many people over 60 feel the same way. But here's the truth. The longer you avoid balance training, the worse it gets. And poor balance is a silent thief. It takes away your confidence. It limits your movement. And eventually it leads to falls, and fear of falling becomes its own prison. But there's hope. You don't need hours of training. You can begin by doing exactly what Miriam, 85, did. She was afraid of falling in her own home and said she felt like she had to shuffle just to stay safe. She started practicing one-leg balance every day while brushing her teeth, just 30 seconds, twice a day. In 4 weeks, she could stand without holding the sink. More importantly, she started walking again without looking down at her feet. That's real progress. Balance is just like any other skill. It improves with attention. The more often you challenge it, the more your muscles and brain begin working together again. That means fewer stumbles, more confidence, and better mobility across the board. Start today. Use daily routines as your training ground. Stand on one leg while you brush your teeth. Wait for the kettle or dry your hands. Even 10 seconds makes a difference. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. One senior told me this simple shift gave her the courage to stop using her walker indoors. She said, "I feel like my body trusts me again." So let me ask you this. Can you stand on one leg for a full 10 seconds without holding onto anything? Or was this your wake-up call that balance might need some attention? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you're starting this habit today, write day 1 so others know they're not alone. Your comment could be the motivation another viewer needs to reclaim their footing. Literally. White heavy checkmark number 4. Walk 400 meters without stopping. Let's talk about something most of us take for granted until it starts slipping. Your ability to walk without stopping. Walking 400 meters, that's about a quarter mile or 1 lap around a standard track. Might sound easy. But for many seniors, that simple walk becomes a struggle. You get winded. Your legs feel heavy. Maybe your back starts to ache. And before you know it, walking turns from freedom into fear. But here's the reality. Your ability to walk that short distance without stopping is one of the strongest indicators of your heart, lung, and brain health. Research shows that people who can maintain steady walking speed over 400 meters live longer, have fewer hospitalizations, and maintain their independence longer. So here's your check-in. Can you walk for 5 full minutes without taking a break? No leaning, no sitting, no stopping to catch your breath. Just a steady, comfortable pace? If the answer is yes, fantastic. You're already ahead of the curve. But if the answer is no, that's your signal to act, not out of fear, but out of love for the life you still have to live. Let me share a story. Marion, 86, used to dread even the walk from her car to the grocery store. I felt like I was 100 years old, she said. But instead of giving up, she started walking just 2 minutes a day. That's it. Not fast, not far, just consistent. She added a minute each week. After 3 months, she wasn't just walking. She was walking 15 minutes every morning with her dog. Rain or shine. She didn't just regain movement. She regained joy. Her legs felt lighter, her breathing improved, and she started looking forward to mornings again. The message here is simple. Start small, stay consistent, and watch yourself grow. Try walking just 100 meters today. That's about 1 minute. Then add a little more tomorrow. If you need to rest, rest, but don't stop showing up. Walking is one of the last freedoms we lose, and one of the most powerful ones we can reclaim. It doesn't take a gym. It just takes a decision. Now, I'd love to hear from you. When was the last time you walked for 5 minutes straight without needing a break? Could you do it today? Share your answer in the comments, and if you're starting with just 1 minute, let us know. We're all walking this path together. White heavy checkmark number 5. Pick something up off the floor without help. Here's a skill most people never think about until they lose it. The ability to bend down, pick something up, and stand back up without help. It seems simple, right? But the truth is, this one motion requires flexibility, coordination, strength, and balance all at once. And for seniors, it's one of the first everyday movements to slip away without warning. So try it now if you're able. Place a small object on the floor. Now bend down to pick it up. Were you steady? Did your knees ache? Did you feel nervous about falling or unsure about getting back up? If that task was difficult, you're not alone. Many older adults quietly begin avoiding picking things up. They leave socks on the floor. They stop gardening. They even skip picking up dropped keys or coins. Why? Because they're afraid of getting stuck, or worse, falling. And this one habit of avoidance leads to gradual dependence. But here's the good news. Like anything else, this is trainable. Let me tell you about Helen, 87. She used to ask her grandson to pick things up for her. I just didn't trust my legs anymore, she said. But she also didn't want to give up her independence. So she started with a simple stretch each morning, reaching for her knees, then her ankles, then eventually the floor. She practiced standing up from a low seat and did gentle hip stretches before bed. 3 months later, Helen was back in her garden, pulling weeds and standing up on her own. The best part? She didn't feel helpless anymore. She felt proud. Why does this matter so much? Because losing this one skill often predicts future mobility issues. People who can no longer safely bend and recover are far more likely to need walkers, grabbers, or full-time assistance in the near future. But it doesn't have to go that way. A few minutes of stretching daily can restore mobility. Try reaching to your toes while seated. Practice bending at the hips with your feet wide. Use a sturdy chair to help if needed. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every day you move, your body remembers how to move. And here's a reality check. If you lose this skill, someone else will have to do it for you. But if you keep it or rebuild it, you keep control of your body and your independence. So let me ask you this. Can you still bend, balance, and pick something up off the floor without holding on? Or is this the one area you know needs work? Be honest and drop your answer in the comments. Whether you're still doing it with ease or you're just starting to try again, your voice could give someone else the push they need to start reclaiming their own strength. At 78, my neighbor Rose said something that stuck with me. She looked out the window one morning and said, "I don't want to just watch life go by. I want to stay in it." She wasn't trying to run marathons or climb mountains. She just wanted to bend down and tie her shoes, get out of a chair without help, take a morning walk without fear of falling. She told me, "I realized I didn't lose all those abilities overnight. I gave them up a little at a time." And that's what most people do. They trade strength for convenience, movement for comfort, independence for safety, until there's not much left. But the truth is, you can start rebuilding one small action at a time. Rose did. She started with the grip exercises, then practiced standing without using her arms. Within 6 months, she wasn't just stronger. She was proud, empowered, alive again. The 5 movements we've talked about today, they aren't just tests of the body. They're proof of what's still possible. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. And it's not too late. If you're breathing, you still have a choice. Start with one move, 1 minute, one small promise to yourself. Because these golden years, they belong to you. And you deserve to live them fully, not fearfully. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 movements can you still do today? And which one are you going to start working on this week? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else to keep going. We read every single one. If this video helped you see what's possible, hit that like button. It helps more seniors find this message. And subscribe to Better Life After Golden Jubilee for more weekly tips on living strong, smart, and independent after 60. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Let's keep building your better life together.